Tommy Robinson's ex-wife in court for failing to adhere to accounting rules. Is this lawfare, or is this a genuine case? Let's discuss it. Oi, Savaloys, welcome back to Beyond Conviction. For all those who subscribed, thank you very much. I'm glad you are enjoying the content. For all those who haven't but still like to watch my videos, it takes half a second. Click the subscribe button and you'll be notified of any videos coming in the future. So, Tommy Robinson's former wife has denied allegations that she failed to comply with corporate financial record-keeping regulations. See, I didn't even know that was a crime or that terminology in law existed, but there you go. So Jenna, 41, pleaded not guilty to 3 counts of failing to adhere company accounting rules at Southwark Crown Court on Thursday. So for all those that aren't aware, well, I'm sure you probably have heard of him at some point. Tommy Robinson is known as a far-right activist who speaks against the Islamic religion. He speaks against two-tier policing and anything that the far right are against. Essentially, he speaks for that side of politics. I'm not here to get involved in what opinions are correct, what opinions aren't. This is just like a devil's advocate overview of this case. Tommy Robinson, he is known to be a campaigner of hate speech, if that new term of phrase that we hear nowadays. I don't know too much about what drives him to say what he says. I don't know too much about politics. So for all those who have certain opinions of what he stands for, you feel free to keep that to yourselves. This is not what this video is about. What this video does want to discuss is, we are all aware that freedom of speech is something that we do take for granted in the United Kingdom. What I've noticed in the likes of the workplace, in universities, and just in general, and especially online, freedom of speech is something that you have, but only to a certain extent, which is quite contradictory, because freedom of speech is the ability to speak without consequence. And it appears as what people have been seeing is when, for example, people are discussing on the likes of Twitter about the immigration crisis that is going on in the country at the moment. People are speaking against that. The police are actually looking at social media and arresting people for speaking against immigration. I don't think that's correct. I think people should have their own opinions, but put them across, in as respectable way as they can. Tommy Robinson obviously takes his opinion to the extremes and doesn't give a rat's ass about who's offended. He doesn't care. And upon doing a bit of research, he has been, locked up. He's been, he's been given certain bail conditions when he's been investigated. He's been financially bankrupted over cases. I did watch a documentary put on, which was called the RAPE of Britain, which, when he lays it on, it kind of makes you think, oh, some of the stuff he does say may have some substance to it. But he has been made subject to a variety of, I don't know what to call it, but attacks from the state. It's essentially people are trying to silence him, whether that's because he is wrong in what he's saying, or if that's because he's right in what he's saying and the government aren't wanting him to keep talking because there's gonna be an uproar against the government, or whatever driving force is, causing him to speak up against what the government's doing. It's had a drastic effects on his life. You can't get a bank account. You can't rent or buy a property in the United Kingdom. He's always having to live abroad. So this is why I want to put this video on. Is this lawfare? And the term lawfare comes from where the UK government use the law not as a format to enact justice on people, but as a way of punishing people and causing the utmost inconvenience to people's lives as a weapon, essentially. So what I mean by lawfare, so Tommy Robinson has made reference to this term quite a lot. So there was a case where he was speaking against, it was like a Syrian child, like a Syrian refugee, only a young lad, who, something to do with a school, school playground bust up, and Tom Robinson basically saying, "Oh, the Syrian schoolboy was the aggressor," when people were saying, "No, he was the victim." So the Syrian schoolboy and his family and their legal team sued Tommy Robinson for basically calling him a liar. Tommy Robinson apparently had a truckload of evidence to back up that what he was saying was correct, and he ended up getting sued for the tune of probably like £1 million, which bankrupted him. And that's where the term lawfare comes from. It's basically financially crippling you through the law. So they use the courts as a vehicle to financially cripple people. So when people are financially crippled, they don't have any base and they're unable to. I mean, you can imagine if you lost your business, you lost your job, your mortgages, your banks all gone. You're going to struggle to have any form of influence on anywhere outside of your own life because your immediate lifestyle has just been pulled from underneath you. So, yeah, this is Tommy Robinson's view on what lawfare is, and he's very, very confident that this is what's happening against his ex-wife. His ex-wife, Jenna, is not involved in politics. She's not involved in the activism that Tommy Robinson gets involved in all the time. She is essentially just a mother to his kids. She's a business lady, and he's saying that this is lawfare. But at the end of the day, how many people who run businesses make mistakes and they end up getting pinged for it? They end up getting in trouble. I know a few people who own like takeaways, who own gyms. They've been pulled over the coals because they didn't want to pay an accountant to do anything, and they've worked out their finances incorrectly and they've been charged for it. So it's quite easy to say, because this is Tommy Robinson's ex-wife, and Tommy Robinson has a large following, and that large following basically believe what Tommy Robinson's saying. Like I want to say again, I don't know either way. I don't like to get involved in politics or left or right or up or down. I'm not really interested in that sort of stuff. People are saying, "Oh, this is 100% lawfare." It may well be, but then the question needs to be asked: what is the government going to gain by attacking Tommy Robinson's ex-wife? That's his ex-wife. They have no financial arrangements together. Yes, they have the children, but the children are up and getting older now, so that doesn't really affect their lives. So is this just a coincidence? Oh, Tommy Robinson's ex-wife's being pinged for, financial misdoings, or is this lawfare? I'd like you to, if you have an opinion, share it in the comments. Is this lawfare, or is this actually just a genuine mistake that Tommy Robinson's ex-wife has made? Personally, I usually have an opinion on most things that I put videos up on. This one I really don't know. And I wouldn't like to say. I really wouldn't like to say. But Tommy Robinson's ex-wife is on trial in, I think it's about 2 years' time. And it's all because she failed to surrender books and records and stuff like that. Because she was going, I think it's because her business was getting liquidated, and as part of the process you need to surrender financial records so the liquidator can, do their work properly and effectively and sell off assets and stuff like that to, recoup costs and stuff. And apparently she was withholding that sort of information. But she's on trial for that in 2028. Tom Robinson has put a video online saying, "Oh, this is lawfare." But like I say, probably for the third or fourth time, I don't have an opinion on it. I like to keep away from what's been on the right or on the left, the politics. Don't really care. But if you are interested in this sort of thing, if you are interested in like, Tommy Robinson, the once EDL leader, and probably he used to be pretty much the hated man in Britain. He couldn't even walk down the street without getting attacked. But now people are starting to accept him because apparently some of the stuff that he's saying regarding two-tier policing, regarding immigration, regarding, international demographic replacements and stuff, apparently some of it does have legs. So I'm wanting to educate myself, not because I'm supporting Tommy Robinson. I'm not anti-Islam. I mean, my dad's Moroccan, he's a Muslim. I'm not anti-Islam at all. I'm not anti-anything. I've always thought we should all get on as a people. No need to hate one side just because they have a different opinion. I don't think we should hate anybody, unless they do something personally wrong to you. But if you are interested in this sort of topic, there is a website called Urban Scoop, which Tommy Robinson has control of. He puts his journalism sort of investigations on there. So he investigates like the grooming gangs. He investigates two-tier policing. He investigates corrupt politicians. He investigates the BBC. The corrupt BBC. We all have an opinion on that, don't we? And it's all first-hand, citizen journalism evidence that he puts up on these documentaries. And it can help you formulate an opinion on, does what he say have legs? Or is he still what people used to classify him as, just a far-right bigot? I'm yet to make my opinion. You may already have yours. Go to Urban Scoop, have a little look at it. And like I say, if you are interested, those documentaries on there may help drive your opinion. Yeah, this video was a bit of a steer away from the content I normally produce, but I just thought I'd add it just to see what people think. It is kind of on the forefront of the criminal justice system. Is it corrupt? Is it used in the wrong way, i.e. for lawfare? Let me know what you think, guys. I'd love to know. As I always do, you are the guys who control this channel. Your opinions matter. And when I read all your comments, I ensure that I do take the feedback and I put it into my videos moving forward. And I do learn a lot from them. So yeah, get your thoughts in the comments, guys. Short video. Hope it was a bit informative. You know where to go if you want more information. Peace and love. Thank you.